The end times. A 10-nation Islamic Union will be created in the Middle East. Israel will sign a 7-year peace treaty with these nations. Then the Antichrist from Assyria will join the Union. To joining, he plucks up 3 of the first countries, making them subject to him. After 3.5 years, he will break the Union's treaty, and Jesus told Judea to flee to the mountains when they see him coming, taking nothing with them. The Antichrist will sit in Jerusalem's temple and proclaim himself God. He will take away the daily sacrifice and place there the abomination of desolation, and it will stay there for 1,290 days. His false prophet will perform satanic miracles. Miracles such as calling fire from heaven, and he will give satanic life to the Antichrist's image, which will speak and demand worship, as though it were the Spirit of God, and it will command those who will not worship it to be put to death. The 10 countries will give their power to him, hailing him as their king and God incarnate. Assyria and Iraq will become the center of his empire. The Bible says his capital city Babylon will be utterly destroyed. The Antichrist will call the nations of the world together against Israel to help destroy it. But Jesus Christ will roar from heaven and shake the earth with the greatest earthquake the world has ever known, destroying those armies in the valley of Armageddon. And Jesus Christ will reign over the earth as God and King. The Bible calls the Antichrist the Assyrian, from the name Asher, which means 10 in Arabic. In the north of Iraq lies Assyria, Nineveh, and Mosul. The Assyrians are crying out for a homeland to be created. because of Muslim persecution. But the next small country to be created in the Middle East will be ruled by the Antichrist, also known as the Little Horn. But before Jesus returns, the Third World War will cause many deaths and many will die from war, starvation and disease. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes, in divers places. And there will be strange things happening to the sun, the moon, and the stars. On earth whole countries will be in despair, afraid of the roar of the sea, and the raging tides. The following is the sequence of events from the book of Revelation. Antichrist will conquer Jerusalem. Jesus warned those in Judea to flee to the mountains when they see the Antichrist's army approaching, taking nothing with them. The Arab nations will overrun Jerusalem for 3.5 years, and the Jews will be led away as captives into all nations. God will send Elijah and Moses, dressed in sackcloth, to preach for 1,260 days, while the Gentile nations overrun Jerusalem. And if anyone should want to hurt them, fire comes out of their mouths and burns up their enemies. And when they have finished their testimony, the beast that comes up from the bottomless pit will wage war against them, conquer them, and kill them. But after the 3.5 days, the breath of life from God entered them, and they stood on their feet. Those who watched them were terrified. Then the witnesses heard a loud voice from heaven calling to them, "Come up here." So they went up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies watched them. At that moment a powerful earthquake struck. 1/10 of the city collapsed, 7,000 people were killed by the earthquake, and the rest were terrified, and gave glory